SK02R, please stand by while I set up the repeater for net mode.
PL off.
The Denver Radio Club net will begin at 8:30. This is K0TR. QSD from the Denver Radio Club. Welcome to the Denver Radio Club net, being held on repeater W0TX. This is a meeting held on air every Sunday evening at about 8:30 p.m. Good evening. My name is Tim. My call sign is Kilo Zero Tango Oscar Romeo. I'll be your net control station transmitting from Littleton, Colorado. If there's any emergency or priority traffic during this net, say break at any pause, and the net will be suspended until the emergency or priority traffic is completed. This net is for Denver Radio Club members and all interested radio amateurs. We're here to share information concerning any ham-related activities. Regular meetings at the Denver Radio Club are held on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. And with the COVID-19 lockdown, we're holding virtual meetings, and we use Google Hangout. And to get the information for that, that's on our website. Or if you're on our mailing list, you'll get a copy of the internet site. And our next meeting is going to be on September the 16th. An Elmer session is held at 6 p.m. just prior to monthly meeting. This session addresses any amateur radio questions that you might have. So whether you're new to amateur radio or interested in some new application of amateur radio, this is a session where you can get help. Also, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., except the third Wednesday when a monthly meeting is held, there's a learning net held on 145.490 megahertz and 448.625 megahertz. This is another area where you can find answers for your amateur radio-related questions. As a general interest club, we provide emergency communication for the Salvation Army, City of Wheat Ridge Police Department, City of Lakewood Police Department, West Metro Fire District, and St. Anthony's West Hospital. We're always looking for members who would like to participate in this support. Please contact our club president if you would like to help. Our current president is Jerry Vilhauer, W0GV, and Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club website address is www.w0tx.org. Again, Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club also participates in the ARRL Volunteer Examiner Program. And again, with the COVID-19 limitations, we don't have VE testing as frequently as we'd like. We have to find a suitable facility where we can actually maintain a necessary distance between those taking exams. And so whenever we do get a number of people that are requesting for exams, we'll try and set something like that up. Usually identify that on our website and also on this net. So if there's VE testing opportunities coming up, we hope to pass those on here in this net. If you have other questions, our VE team lead, Tom Kaszowski, KC2CAG, can answer questions. His phone number is 720-284-1911.
W0TX repeater.
This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K0TOR serving as net control. Are there any special announcements or bulletins for the net this evening? If so, please call now. I have a quick announcement here that those that get QSD on page 25 of the September issue was a full-page ad from ARRL identifying an online auction which is going to take place between October 15th and October 22nd. So this is another virtual type of flea market, if you will, that can use in a situation where we've got COVID-19 to deal with. That's going to include new gear, vintage items, books, one-of-a-kind finds, product review items, and much more, they say. You can get information on that at the ARRL website, which is www.arrl.org/auction. And preview and pre-registration begins on October 12th through the 14th. Bidding opens on October 15th, and it ends on October the 22nd. So, like I say, if you get QSD, that's information is there on page 25. I might also add that we still got a few days left before the QSO Today website closes down, where they have the technical papers that were presented back a couple of weeks ago on another virtual Hamfest. And so they have some excellent papers there that you can certainly review. And so I would remind you that there's not a whole lot of time left before that website comes down. So just another point of information. Before regular check-ins, I'd like to welcome and invite any visiting radio amateurs to check into the Denver Radio Club Net this evening. During this net, we disable the requirement for the 100 Hz PO repeater access tone. So you can use either 145.490 MHz with a minus 600 kHz offset, or 448.625 MHz with a minus 5 MHz offset. Are there any visiting radio amateurs who would like to check into the Denver Radio Club Net tonight? If so, please call now. All right, next I'd like to welcome and invite any newly licensed or recently upgraded radio amateurs to check in. Please call now. I'm going to take regular check-ins in groups, and please let me know if you have traffic when you check in, and I'll get back to you. First, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo, please call now.
Here is November 0 Delta Bravo Sierra Dawn in Green Valley Ranch, no traffic.
November 5 Charlie Mike Kilo Greg in Denver, no traffic.
N0 EYZ Jim in Littleton, no traffic.
N0 ETV Lance Aurora, no traffic.
KB0CHD Jeff in Lakewood, no traffic.
Kilowatt 0 Delta Papa Romeo Paul and Aurora. Alpha Fox 0 Echo Alex Bloomfield. Alpha 0 Delta Hotel Dave Littleton, no traffic. KC0CZ 5 in Thornton.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Alpha Foxtrot Quebec, Troy in Denver, no traffic.
Whiskey Delta 6 Delta Oscar Kilo, Rich in Arvada, and I've got a couple of questions when appropriate. Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. N0 DBS Don, N5 CMK Greg, N0 EYZ Jim, N0 ETV Lance, KB0 CHT Jeff, K0 DPR Paul, AF0E Alex, AA0DH Dave, KC0CZ Bob, KF0AFQ Troy, and WD6DOK Rich with traffic. Make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now. All right, we'll move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now. WCRTV, Jerry Westminster.
Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor Tom Arvada, no traffic. Kilowatt 7 Italy Radio Canada Bill in Highlands Ranch. Alpha 0 Juliet Kilo, AA0 JK Fred in Arvada, good evening with traffic.
W0TX repeater.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. W0GB Jerry, it's K6HJB Tom, mixed up on that one. Next K7 IRC Bill, and AA0JK Fred with traffic. Make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now. All right, we'll move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now.
Kilo Echo 0, Oscar Sierra India, Tom, Highlands Ranch, no traffic.
Whiskey 0, Lima Foxtrot, Orland and Golden, no traffic, over.
S.t.e.m OAV, Highlands Ranch, good evening.
Kilo 0, Lima Alpha India, K0 LEI, Larry in Lakewood.
Kilo 0, Lima Papa Romeo, Lanier in Inglewood.
WG0N, Dave in Lakewood.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat just the wrong time. All right, KE0OSI Tom, WW0LF Orland, W6OAV Bill, K0LAI Larry, K0LPR Lanier, and WG0N Dave. Make one more call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O. Kilo through Oscar. Please call now. Moving down the alphabet, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
Whiskey Bravo 2, Sierra Hotel Romeo, Stan in Denver, no traffic.
Kilo Echo 0, Sierra Uniform Mike, Jonathan, Lakewood, no traffic.
Kilo Echo 0, Romeo Victor Zulu John, Lakewood, no traffic.
November 0, Tango Romeo Papa Jim in Lakewood.
Kilo Bravo 9er, Quebec Delta Golf, KB 9er QDG, Carl, Lakewood, no traffic.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. WB2SHR Stan, KE0SUM Jonathan, KE0 RVZ John, N0 TRP Jim, and KB9er QDG Carl. Make one more call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
K0 RCW, Robert in Lakewood.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. K0 RCW. Robert, move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
KF0UV, Marshall and Glendale.
November 0, X-ray Romeo X-ray, Mark in Arvada, no traffic.
Kilo Echo 0, Yankee Kilo Victor, Bill in Lakewood.
Kilo Echo 0, Charlie.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KF0 UV Marshall, N0 XRX Mark, KE0Y KV Bill, and I'm sorry I had noise on signal, but I got KE0 and I believe it was CR, and I couldn't copy any further. Could you come back and fill that in for me, please? Station calling, I believe it was Kilo Echo 0 Charlie Romeo, and I'm not sure if those were the right call letters in the suffix or not, but awful noisy and then dropped out. Could you come back and fill it in, please? All right, make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
Kilo Echo 0, Victor Charlie Whiskey, John in Denver.
And Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. Kilo Echo 0 Victor Charlie question mark John, I missed the last letter. Could you repeat that for me?
Yes, sir. Last letter, Whiskey, W.
Thank you. Kilo Echo 0 Victor Charlie Whiskey. Thanks, John. And let me open up the entire alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
KS, Ken in Arvada.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. KA5 DKS Ken. Be a chance for late check-ins a little bit later in the net. And at this time, I'd like to turn the net over to our club president, Jerry Wellhart, W0GB. And Jerry, go ahead, the net is yours.
Okay, Jim, well, thanks for doing that. Welcome, everybody. I only have one announcement to make tonight, and regretfully, we've made the decision to cancel our annual holiday party, which would be on December 16th. And with the COVID situation and the fact that, we do it in Denver, our meeting host there, our meeting place has to abide by the Denver restrictions set by the mayor as far as attendance restrictions and all that. So we just don't see any way that we can pull it off. We had a pretty good discussion the other night about it with the board meeting, and I just don't see how it can happen this year. So, like I say, regretfully, we're going to cancel it, and hopefully things will be better in 2021. We can all hope. So that's all I got. Back to you, Jim, and everybody. Stay safe there. W0GB?
Hey, thanks, Jerry. Appreciate that. Not happy about it, but we understand. And that's the way it goes. Doggone virus. All right. WD6D, Rich, you had some questions. Go ahead, and that's yours.
Okay, thanks, Jim. I'm really disappointed. I do understand, certainly, but disappointed about the Christmas get-together. So hopefully we'll have it for next year. Anyway, I've got a couple of questions that really should be maybe for the learning net. Should I go ahead and continue?
You bet. Go ahead, Rich.
Okay, I was wondering if anybody out there has used a company or shop. It's called DX Shop, and in particular, I'm looking for a 23-STE.m preamp, and they have one. It's an MVV. I have no idea where it's at. It's had some good reports on it, but I was just wondering if anybody has used that. And also, while I've got it here, there's a mini kit that's from a company in Australia. They also handle a 23-STE.m preamp that actually you can buy it assembled or in a kit form. And it's called minikits.com, and I was just wondering if anybody has heard of this company or the other one. WD60, okay.
Can anybody answer Rich's questions? Well, Rich, it doesn't sound like any of us have had any dealings with either of the companies, so not sure we can help you at all.
Okay, Jim. Well, appreciate the time, and I'll just toss it back to you then. Maybe I'll take a chance or give him a call or something. See. Anyway, back to that. This is Whiskey Delta 6 Delta Oscar Kilo. Thank you.
WD60, okay, Rich. This is K02R. All right, you're welcome, Rich. And moving down, AA0JK, Fred, you had traffic. Go ahead, the net is yours.
AA0JK, thank you, Jim. And for all those who haven't noticed, on the ARRL's webpage, the FCC is proposing to charge a $50 fee for to reinstate amateur services, such as getting your initial license, renewals, upgrades, and vanity calls. They want to charge $50 to renew your license, to get a license, etc., etc. So you might want to send a note to the ARRL as to your feelings on the situation. I think it's the $50 fee is a bit much, and I don't know what they're trying to do to us here, but I think they need to get an earful here from us all. So you might take that into consideration, and that's on the ARRL's main webpage. AA0JK, back to net control.
AA0JK, this case 02R. Well, I didn't see that one, Fred. Wow. I just here this last month renewed my license, so man, I escaped that. But wow, that's a steep jump. Well, we used to talk about renewal fees that were down in the $5-10 area, and boy, all of a sudden 10 times that gets a little steep. I guess the FCC requires some help with their budget or something, but yeah, I'll have to check that out. But thanks for that, appreciate it. All right, I don't see anyone else indicated they had traffic when they checked in. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K0TR, your net control station. Does anyone have any other comments, information, or business for the net? If so, please call now. All right, I guess everyone's speechless after that one. All right, do we have any late check-ins? Please call now. All right, and I'll review the next weekend's contests. We don't have any upcoming Hamfest. Everything that's been on the calendars got canceled, so we'll just have to wait until things get better, I guess. Contest coming up this next weekend. We got the CW Ops, CW Open. That begins on September the 5th at 0 hour Zulu, goes through September 5th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That is on 160 through 10 meters. That's a CW contest. We have the All-Asian DX contest. That begins on September 5th at 0 hour Zulu, goes through September 6th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That is on 80 through 10 meters, and that is a phone contest. We have the Wake Up QRP Sprint. Begins on September 5th at 0600 hours Zulu, goes through September 5th until 0800 hours Zulu. That's on 40 and 20 meters. And that is a CW contest. We have the Colorado QSO Party. That begins on September 5th at 1300 hours Zulu, go through September 6th until 0400 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 70 centimeters. And that's a CW phone and digital contest. We have the IRAU Region 1 Field Day, and that begins on September 5th at 1300 hours Zulu, goes through September 6th until 12:59 hours Zulu. That is on 160 through 10 meters. That is a phone contest. We have the RSGB Single Sideband Field Day. That begins on September 5th at 1300 hours Zulu, goes through September 6th until 1300 hours Zulu. That is on 80 through 10 meters, and that is a phone contest. We have the IARU Region 1 145 megahertz contest. That begins on September 5th at 1400 hours Zulu, goes through September 6th until 1400 hours Zulu. That's on 145 megahertz. That's a CW phone and digital contest. We have the AGCW Straight Key Party. Begins on September 5th at 1600 hours Zulu, goes through September 5th until 1900 hours Zulu. That is on 40 meters, and that's CW. We have the PODXS 070 Club J. Hudak Memorial 80 meter sprint. It begins on September 5th at 2000 hours Zulu, goes through September 6th until 2000 hours Zulu. That's on 80 meters, and that's a digital contest. We have the WAB 144 megahertz QRO phone contest. It begins on September 6th at 1000 hours Zulu, goes through September 6th till 1400 hours Zulu. That's it on 144 megahertz. That is a phone contest. And lastly, we have the Tennessee QSO Party. It begins on September 6th at 1800 hours Zulu, goes through September 7th until 0300 hours Zulu. That is on 160 through 70 centimeters. That's a CW phone and digital contest. A couple reminders, High Noon Net, they meet daily at 12 noon with early check-ins beginning at 11:30. They meet on a frequency of 7.240 megahertz, which is on a 40-meter band. And also Salvation Army Saturn Net, they meet at 1500 hours Zulu. That's 9 a.m. Mountain Daylight time. And they meet Monday through Saturday on a frequency of 14.265 megahertz, which is on the 20-meter band. The Denver Radio Club maintains the following repeaters for use by all radio amateurs: 147.330 megahertz with a positive offset, 145.490 megahertz with a negative offset, a 224.380 megahertz with a negative offset, a 449.350 megahertz with a negative offset, a 448.625 megahertz with a negative offset, a 447.825 megahertz with a negative offset. Our digital turbo repeater operating on Brandmeister on 446.7875 megahertz with a negative offset, and our C4 FM digital repeater on 449.775 megahertz with a negative offset. The 447.825 megahertz repeater is configured for narrowband FM, and that requires a digital code squelch of 073. There are two repeaters on 147.330 megahertz. Repeater in Lakewood requires a 100 hertz PO tone, and a second repeater located east near Franktown requires a 131.8 hertz PO tone. We have a second repeater on the same frequency out east to improve coverage along the Front Range and into the canyons. However, having two repeaters on the same frequency with different frequency propagation requires that you monitor the frequency to assure neither is in use prior to making your call. The 449.350 megahertz repeater provides wide area coverage, and this repeater hosts our Echolink station, W0TX, node number 4140. And a 448.625 megahertz repeater is linked with a 145.490 megahertz repeater. The repeater on 449.775 is now a C4 FM digital only repeater. Each repeater requires a 100 hertz PL tone for activation, except as noted, it each uses standard offsets. And for packet, we have the 145.050 megahertz gateway on 2 meters that is interconnected with the 14.105 megahertz gateway on 20 meters for packet QSO. And we have a 6-meter repeater on 53.0 megahertz with an input on 52.09 megahertz with a required 107.2 hertz PO tone. Your support of the Denver Radio Club is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to participate in any of the many club activities, please contact our club president, Jerryville Howard, W0GV. I'd like to thank everyone for checking to the Denver Radio Club Net tonight. Your support is greatly appreciated. I hope you all have a great week. 7-3. Tonight we had a total of 33 check-ins, and the Denver Radio Club W0TX Net is now closed at 9:09, and repeaters available for regular use. This is K0TR, your net control station, and please stand by a moment while I return the PL tone to the repeater.
PL on.
This is K0TR, and I'm clear.